This is the Coin It Podcast, sponsored by VCD Auctions. Have fun like a collector. Think like an investor. Whether you're just a hobbyist or looking for an alternative investment with rare coins, paper money, NFTs, or art, your host, Charles Jonath, is covering it all. Now your host, Charles Jonath.
All right, we're here with Kenny Duncan Jr. from U.S. Coin and Jewelry down in Houston. Bet he's really happy about his World Series team right now.
Yeah, we definitely couldn't be prouder of our Astros, that's for sure.
Oh, that's good, dude. You're lucky. It's awesome. But you know, man, I'm super excited to talk to you because you're one of the only people that I run into who actually grew up in a coin shop like me. So I'm so curious, like, to hear first. I really want to know, what was your experience? What was it like for you growing up in a coin shop? And then eventually tell us like how your family got into coins and everything, and what decided you guys to open up the store and all.
So I'll start with the family history. So, you know, my dad would go to coin shows and basically pick silver dollars for a living. You know, fresh bags were coming out around 84, 85. And my dad would pick, you know, 81Ss, 82Ss, a lot of the old mid date, those bags were coming out. And he would pick, you know, 63, 64, 65 coins that were bringing, you know, multiples of hundreds of dollars back then. The grading services came out back in the 86, 87 era. That's when things got really good for him. And, you know, he just had a really good eye. You know, he cut his teeth on Morgan silver dollars. And you know, that's really where U.S. Coins LP took off. Him and my uncle Danny, Paul Montgomery, Mike Fulgens,
That's so cool.
Robert McGee, you know, some of the greatest, you know, some of the great guys in the industry, Eric Etai, my uncle Johnny, Dana Samuelson was just an awesome guy. You know, rest in peace, Dana. You know, I remember those days being a kid, you know, going to the shop and watching $20 bags come in, and $7 bags, and just, you know, the grading services back then. I mean, they were grading so many coins. It was, as a kid, obviously, and I didn't know what was going on at the time, but, you know, now that I'm, you know, when I think about those days, it was kind of cool to be around then. My own personal history started in the year 2000. I first, you know, I always helped out in the coin shop, you know, even at, you know, 12, 13, 14 years old, you know, searching.
Have to, right? Yeah.
Yeah, searching bags for 09 SVDBs, or, you know, 31Ss, 24Ds, 24Ss, you know, 55 double dies, anything you could find better in Lincoln cent bags, and then Mert dimes, you know, over dates. I remember I think 13 or 14 years old. I found a 42 over 1. I thought I was just like, just thought the coolest thing, because, you know, it's not something that happens all the time. And it didn't back then.
For sure.
You know, so, you know, I got paid, I remember, $5 an hour to search.
Sounds
bags.
about right.
Yeah, $5 an hour, and then I would clean the cases in my dad's first coin shop, which was in Sharpstown Mall in Houston, Texas. Then let's see, you know, I moved to Houston in 2000. I got into you know, I started working for U.S. Coins, and you know, at 20 years old, Charles, honestly, with you, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life.
Right?
It wasn't work. It was
it's like that for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was, man, it was, you know, it was anything but work. It was, you know, trying to hang out and party, and,
right.
You know, just never do anything the right way. I was, you know, it took a while for me to really get my head screwed on straight, to be honest with you. So, but, you know, being around coins and, just really, I've always loved coins, and I've always been able to, you know, I've always been able to talk to people. You know, the coin shop was just kind of an easy place for me to be. customer service things came easy to me because it's kind of something we learned from our dad.
Yeah.
He,
Just dealing with the public,
my dad's a fair guy, and
Yeah.
you can deal with anybody when you're fair.
Right. That's so true.
When when you have a fair, when you have a base of integrity and just, penchant for being honest, it's just easy to deal with people because, it kind of, it exudes out of you. People can feel it.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things about the coin shop that I've always loved is that, we make a lot of money, but we make a lot of money the easy and the fair way. So
we work on our percentage, you know what I mean? I always found with dealing with the public that you just tell them, look, this is what this is. You educate them about the individual coins, the type series and how that works, how the pricing is done, how people collect the stuff. And this is, this I think is a fair price. And then ultimately I just let them decide what they want to do,
Yeah, I agree. And it's exactly right. Our job as numismatists in the coin shop is to give the customer the best valuation for what they have.
Right.
Let them know the market. I personally like to give them a buy-sell spread just so they know. Say, for instance, customer comes in with a 93 S dollar and, VG, which is, I guess, $5,000, $5,500 coin. Normally, I'm going to have that in stock. So, if I offer 4,500 and then I have one in stock for 5,250, then that's a pretty fair spread, right?
Yeah.
People go into Bed Bath & Beyond all the time, or big box stores and pay 30, 40, 50, 60%.
Yeah.
And they do it all the time and they don't even think twice. Yeah. They come into a coin shop and they want you to work for 4%.
Those margins don't exist in our business.
They really don't. And people just think we're making all the money in the world, and it's just so hard. It's funny. They're spending so much money elsewhere and getting beat up left and right in margins. And the coin shop is one of the few places and the few hobbies I think that you actually have a buy-sell spread. And, a lot of people want our buyback. We give a 1-year buyback for a 90% buyback for any coin that we sell.
It's a really good idea.
That's like 95% of the coins we sell, we give a 1-year buyback on. If it's not heavy bullion related, it's for sure.
Right.
Like high reliefs and stuff like that, we, maybe don't fall under the buyback rule just because, when they do move, they kind of move in chunks. But,
yep.
If you buy a nice 93 S dollar for me in VF 35 CAC or something,
such a staple.
You paid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you paid 10 grand for it. I'll always give you $9,100, for a year. I can guarantee that. So it's coins like that we don't have a problem doing. So like I said, going back to what we talked about in the beginning is just, being upfront, being honest. It's a lot easier to do business that way. We just crank the volume up and let them come in and we just use the same model for every customer. And it does, it works out really well for us.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I agree with you 100%, and especially on the key dates like that, you want to always try and stock those if you can. Because
of course, yeah.
someone's going to want them at some point, and they're such good coins to have. It's a great investment.
Well, you start to think about, when you start talking about choice in original coins, right? So like, original 16D quarter, 16P quarter, 16D dimes, 09 SVDBs, 3 legs, 55 double dies. Then you start getting into some of your secondary 21P, 21S dimes. Go try to find a nice 21S dime, a Merc dime in VFXF, like a nice, real, true original coin, and they're tough.
Yeah.
Try to find a 16 quarter in XF that's original. Try to go find a 16D dime that's original.
It's getting harder and harder.
It's tough, and I say original, it's really tough. It was back when a lot of the key day coins were being bought and traded, light cleaning and, taking some of the old dirt off and stuff. People did that with soap and water. They did it with residue removers. They did it with dip. They did it whizzing. They did it with so many different other ways that to find original coins. And it's just, I'll buy those coins back all day long, even if the market's upside down. It'll come back. My money's safe in those type of coins, and I'm okay with it.
Definitely, man.
So
Definitely.
with the evolution of CAC as well,
That's a
I
whole
think
other
it's made
crazy
it,
thing.
it's just made it easier listen, to me, honestly, it just makes it easier for the collector to make the right choice.
Yeah.
Plain
It
and
adds an
simple.
extra layer of credibility, I think, because if people are skeptical about grades, I mean, there's always this thing between NGC and PCGS. And you know what? I'm curious to get your perspective on it, because I have clients that are willing to pay more for coins than PCGS holders and stuff like that. But to me, I don't know if it's a grading thing. I see it as why they're paying the premium is because they've already established registry sets with PCGS. And that's where the registry game really is strong. So they're willing to pay more for a coin in a PCGS holder to put it in their set.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think on that?
I look at every coin for what it is. I try to look at it like this. Every coin stands on its own merits, no matter what holder it's in, no matter who graded it. I've bought millions and millions of dollars of nice coins in NGC holders. I mean, I think both grading services do a pretty
good job, right?
It's a balancing act. Yeah. I mean, you look at the gray sheet, you look at the blue sheet. Obviously, PCGS coins do trade for more money. There's a more supportive market for those coins. But let me tell you, I bought some really, really great collections that have been graded by NGC, and I thought they were graded right. So but again, here comes CAC, right? And NGC, PCGS or not, if the coin's CAC, it's been stickered. You like you said, you had that added benefit, and you feel a little bit more comfortable, and you feel a little bit more confident that it is true for the grade, or really PQ for the grade, or maybe even slightly undergraded, which is fine. Because why max out a coin? I like to have a nice gem coin. If it's gem and it's in a CAC holder, I don't need it to stretch to a 6, right? I mean, I can, a really, really nice 5, that's appealing to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. As long as it's solid for the grade. And John, though, he's got to be probably the best grader of type coins, U.S. type coins, man.
Well, I think, this is just my personal opinion. This doesn't, represent any, I think he's the most consistent.
Right.
At the end of the day,
I agree.
I think when it comes down, if you listen to him on my podcast, he talked a lot about his calibrating, and it's funny because after that conversation, sometimes on Saturdays, I'll come in and grade coins on Saturdays because, the back normally, my back office is pretty much quiet then. I can turn the lights off. I can take my contacts out. Believe it, I wear contacts. I can't grade with my contacts in. So 90% of the time I'm looking at coins with my contacts in, and I really can't grade with them in. Yeah. So when I go to coin shows, a lot of people, they'll ask me, why do you wear glasses at coin shows? It's because I can easily take them off and I can grade coins.
I do the same.
So, so I come in, my eyes are fresh, and, I've got peace and quiet. I turn the phones off in the back, and, I can, really set it up and just have some quiet time, and maybe sometimes put some gentle music on in the back, or some jazz or some Coltrane. That's or, funny. Something
I do the same.
That just kind of gets me in the mood. And then, then I'll grade coins. But, I thought it was interesting when even John said that he needs, he would come back from a vacation and he would calibrate, and, he would sit down for 30 minutes or an hour or for a specific series and sit down and really, really, really try to calibrate, his eyes and get, back on track. And I think that, that consistency is what the market needs, right? It needs that consistency. We don't need gradeflation. We don't need, 60 coins and 67 holders that should be in 66s. That's not fair to anybody. It's not fair to the customer, more importantly.
Absolutely.
And it runs people away. It runs people away from the hobby. And this is
it's not the reality,
hobby. My thing is, Charles, it's such a fun hobby. And it's such a cool hobby, and it is such a, it's a hobby of kings, right? But it does drive some people away because people aren't necessarily, they don't tell the truth a lot, and they're slimy and they're greasy.
It's what's holding the whole thing back, because I feel like the hobby is growing, and it should be have a broader appeal than it does. And I think just because it gets a bad rap after, bad apples that have, bad situations that have happened over the years. And it's really a shame because it's a great field, but that's why I'm super happy that you're doing what you're doing and getting the content out there and stuff like that, because I think it really helps raise awareness for the hobby and to show people that there are people that can explain everything to you, that will give you full disclosure and help you navigate this hobby, because not only you could do well, it's an investment, but it's also fun,
Yeah,
so
it is. If you come into it looking to make money, you're no longer, in my opinion, a hobbyist. Now you're a business person.
right.
If you sit down and educate yourself about the hobby, and you buy the right material from the right people, and you get educated the right way, you're going to be taken care of.
Absolutely. That's how you make money in it.
Just another clip from, and I hate to quote my entire, CAC thing with John, but
no, absolutely.
It's like Bob Simpson.
I want to know what was the whole takeaway? Like, what did you digest from your conversation with John? Well, especially about the grading and the whole slabbing, what's going to happen there?
I just think, I think you can expect a very consistent, product. And I believe that a lot of coins that should be in holders won't make it into a CAC holder. And to me, that's going to be the best. The worked on coins, the doctored coins, the stuff that's out there that somehow slips, and gets into holders. Maybe, they missed the grader might have missed this 5 years ago or missed that. I don't think, I don't think John's team is going to miss those things. And I think that, I think it's going to really, set the table for some really great coins to be traded. And, I think it just kind of, I think it kind of equalizes, it just kind of levels the playing field in terms of better coins. Because if you've noticed in the past, couple auctions, let's just say go back year and a half, the better coins that have been stickered have just completely, just
skyrocketed,
they've just blown everything else out of the water. Now going back to my original statement, though, that doesn't mean that there aren't nice coins in NGC holders or that are not stickered, or that doesn't mean there's not nice coins in PCGS holders that are not stickered. And
I find them all the time.
Well, and that's where you have to train your eye. And again, that's when you have to align yourself with the right company or the right person, or the right people to help you make those decisions and to help you continue on with, continue to make good decisions and to help you with that buying process.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, be there whenever you want to liquidate. Right. Be there whenever, you want to trade into something else or trade up or maybe switch series or maybe, go a completely different direction. It really.
You get to, that's what we do is we're there for you to help market make in a sense. We see, when you want to divest, we can help you navigate
or
that.
Just collect, it's just like for me, like I sometimes I want to get into something, like something personal for me. Like I want to collect something, right? And I like, there's certain things that I like, I like gemstones, I like meteorites. I like, there's some stuff outside of the, sports memorabilia and rare coin world that I like, that I find interesting. And, who do I go to? Who do I go to that's going to treat me fair on gemstones? That's the thing.
It's a whole other world probably.
Well, and I know, and I've learned the business, right? What I've learned is that there's very few people that I trust. Wow. In the meteorite world, go try to get a buyback on a meteorite.
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Go spend 25 or 50 grand on a meteorite that you fall in love with, and then go try to find another buyer for it. It's just tough, right?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't even know where to go. I don't even know where to buy a $50,000 meteorite.
Well, but that's okay. So then a guy comes up to you and says, "Okay, I want a coiled hair Stella and 4 CAC."
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. Go try to find it. You're going to go through, you're going to go through years trying to find one, and then
Absolutely.
when you do, there's going to be a hefty price tag on it, right? And I feel like we have the opportunity to find new collectors out there. I think the new grading service is going to help tremendously with that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, PCGS coins that are already stickered, I'm not saying those coins still don't make that cut. They don't have to be necessarily in the new holder.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, if you buy a collection over the counter and it's got a bunch of what you would call Gem 85 cc's and, 78 cc's and, Gem 91, 92 cc's, maybe a Gem 93 cc, you get to send it into CAC one time, and you know that you're going to have a very well and accurately graded product. You're not going to have to play some crack out game.
Right.
You're not, it's going to be graded once, it's going to be graded right. And you're going to get max money for that deal. And it's going to be, it's easy for everybody.
Yeah. Man.
So that's an exciting thing for me.
I definitely think so. I'm looking forward to it. I know I want to definitely send some coins to be slabbed when time comes. So,
yeah,
and it raises a question to me too. Like, do you ever find yourself gravitating to a particular type series?
Personally, or just what sells in the store?
Like personally, like what, the stuff or what most about, like.
Yeah, silver dollars. I mean, silver dollars is where I started.
Like Morgan dollars?
Yeah, Morgan silver dollars. Yeah, I just think
interesting. Okay.
I just think the Morgan silver dollars they're so easy. There is such a great series. When you look at an ADS dollar that's full struck, 68 plus, that just has, this magnificent, luster wheel. And obviously I love, Saints, dated Saints. I think that's a great series, especially when they get in a high grade. I like that really nice orangey kind of green color that really just, again, a lot of luster line, a lot of luster wheels. I don't get into the small size stuff personally. I think those 3-cent silvers are really just absolute beautiful coins, but they're just too small for me. I love the series. I catch myself buying some 66 pluses and 7s, just on a whim sometimes, just because it's
toned up and stuff too.
Yeah, toned up and just pretty. It's hard for me not to buy them sometimes. What else am I a sucker for? I'm a sucker for really pretty red 2-cent pieces. I'm a sucker for large cent pieces and 5 and 6 red. I'm a sucker for half cents. Like, now listen, I'll tell you what I think is really cool and was things you don't see a lot, not buy a lot of, are red, brown, and red half cents, classic and bust, that are so kind of red brown plus that red color. Man, I mean, those are just beautiful.
They are
beautiful
attractive coins. Yeah, for sure.
They're attractive, and it's just there's so much. The survival rate is just so tough, just with storage and the way that maybe it's just there are very few out there. So I have a nice little stash of those in my safe.
The choice ones.
Quick pause.
Yeah, go for it. It's the choice ones are just hard to beat, man. That's the and
they're and you can't get them. Like I said, you can't get them.
Well, in mint state like that, think of what it took that someone preserved that all those years,
Yeah, no doubt. And, one fingerprint on there and it's going to be brown, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's so true. So when they're really nice like that, especially if they're original, like, I don't know. I've gotten decent at like trying to tell if they've been like, doctored or hit with ammonia or something. But when it's like original,
you're talking about copper?
Yeah. When it's like an original red, oh man.
Yeah. I mean, it's either red or it's not. That's, one thing, about copper, it's either just red or it's, kind of that off color red that just, doesn't look, it's not passable. Right.
So tell us about the Coin Shop podcast, man. I really like it. How did that all come about?
The Coin Shop podcast, honestly, I've had my media team telling me for the last 2 years, you got to do a podcast. You got to do a podcast. And I just, it was trying to find time, when in the world do we have time?
Oh man, it's difficult.
When do we have time to do it? And
to be consistent.
Well, and that was it, and then it was also too like production quality, right? So like I'm not I didn't want to do something, I had a certain expectation of what it was going to look and sound like if we were going to do it. So, I literally one morning, just, like right before the summer, it was early in the morning. I just had some quiet time and I was like, you know what, we're going to do this podcast thing. We're going to do it. And, I came in and I sat a couple of people down and we kind of, took some notes on what we were going to need, what type of equipment, and, kind of did like a mock guest list. And I called Miles Standish and I asked him, I said, hey, can you come down and do a podcast with me? And he said, yeah, let's do it. And, we talked about it for a couple of days and, we just jumped on there and we started talking about grading in the grading room. Awesome. And, we set a precedent for what the Coin Shop podcast was going to be. So, basically it's for smaller coin shops or other coin shops, not necessarily smaller, but just other coin shops because I think a lot of times people want to beat their chest about the good things they do, or, the good buys. If you look at some of the content that's on Instagram, it's like, hey, look what we did. Oh, I just got all these coins cacked. Oh, I made all these grades, but nobody tells you about the losses.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you about the bad deals. Nobody tells you about the counterfeits to look for. No one tells you about, so it's like, I don't want to go out to
We've all been there, man.
Yeah, but what I want to do is let's talk about some of the losses. Like, let's talk about, maybe how to keep somebody else from making some of the same mistakes that we've made. Yeah. It's like or how to hire a new employee and how to really try to test them out. How to use some of the equipment that's available us today. How do you integrate diamonds into your business, scrap gold? How do you integrate gemstones? How do you integrate Rolexes? All of these things, we did over time, over a 12-year span, and we really dedicated ourselves to it. And, we spent a lot of money, but it's paid huge dividends. Yeah. And the whole point for the Coin Shop podcast was to be able to share those experiences. But, kind of in the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's, yesterday we had Johnny Manziel on, and that will air next week. And it's starting to come into more of a, mindset thing of collectibles. Like, so number one, I say mindset of collectible, mindset in general, but just like before anything and before you do anything, you must have the right mindset.
Yeah.
Right. You must.
Absolutely.
I can't go into a situation and expect great results and be negative. Right. I can't open up my store and expect, people to do business with us with some negative attitude about their product. And that was one thing that, before we hire anybody, I make sure they understand is that the deal that you buy or the deal that you're sitting down in front of was somebody's grandfathers or great grandfathers or uncles or brothers or cousins or someone that's probably no longer alive.
You have to be mindful of that,
You need to show the utmost respect for that deal. Yeah. I don't care if it's a bunch of memorial cents. You sit down, you look through those memorial cents, and you give them and tell them the nicest way possible that these are still face value. He picked some really great ones out. He had a really good eye. But unfortunately, those are still spendable today. Yeah. But really, I appreciate you guys trusting us to bring it in. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Yeah. And that's it.
That's so true.
Not be a jerk about it. Like, oh, this is just change. It's kind of you can just go throw that in Coinstar. I heard one of my guys say that one time, and I let him have it.
No, that's the old way of doing things. And then, it turns a lot of people off,
Yeah. Well, that doesn't happen in our coin shop. So, that was mindset to me, mindfulness, gratitude, trying to live in a basis of those things and keep those things in the forefront, keep that, keep a positive mental attitude and work you forwards, always looking to do the next right thing, always looking to the next step, not trying to stay so far in the past. And it's crazy that a lot of the entrepreneurs and other guys that I talk to, that's really how they perform and that's how they continue to be successful.
Absolutely.
So, we continue to try to do these coin shop segments, and we will always do these coin shop segments. But I'm telling you, the podcast has evolved into something greater, and we've been doing it for I don't know. I think we've had 10 episodes now, 11 episodes.
That's great.
So
man.
it's just been, it's just really been it's been just a cool ride. And I just expect nothing but great things from it. We dedicate ourselves. We've got a good team. We have, great support. We've got good editors. We've got, things kind of fell in the right place.
That's good.
Yeah, we're just going to continue to doing that.
That's the whole thing, man. I wanted like that. Why I started doing this is because I wanted to see it, and I couldn't find what I wanted. Like I wanted to know about the collector mindset. I wanted to share stories, and then what's it like? Let's go deeper into the mind of a collector and how they think, and that's what I wanted to see. So I had to create it, and I'm glad. Like there was nothing really out there that was visual for one, and then talked about what I wanted to hear from coin content. So I'm super happy that you guys jumped in, because now I got something extra to watch and listen to besides myself.
That was the B-side to the podcast. So, first it was for collector. I mean, first it was for the coin shops, but then it was for the collector. Okay. So what do you look for in a coin shop? So say, for instance, somebody from Idaho is watching this, or somebody from, Syracuse, New York is watching this, and they're like, wow, well, I wish we had US coins nearby.
Yeah.
The chances are you probably do have a good coin shop nearby, but these are the things that you need to be armed with before you go sell your deal.
Right.
You need to know what the market is. The gray sheet's readily available. Auction records are readily available these days. All you have to do is open a few accounts and use your email and open a few accounts, and you can see auction records. You can pretty much tell what the market is on things. So,
Absolutely.
the days of people going and getting ripped off in coin shops hopefully are over with, because
too much price discovery. There's tons of price discovery on this stuff,
and good for it. Good for
Absolutely.
it. Because
it makes the hobby better.
It levels the playing field. Listen, without the retail customer, we're all looking for a job.
Absolutely.
Right. So why wouldn't we educate them? Right.
Have to, man.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
And being a local coin shop, I always told people at the store, I'm like, even if they come in and they don't sell me anything or do business, I'm happy to help them. I say, use us as a resource. We're right here.
We do the same thing. Even if, I'm not the closest, or, if we're off by 4 or 5% or whatever it is, at least you're armed with the right information, and, you've gotten a second opinion, or third opinion or whatever. And if it doesn't work out there, you can always bring it back, because I always need the product. So,
Absolutely.
It's really a win-win for us. We get to make a connection. We get to share our experience, and we can share our knowledge with the customer, and whether they choose to do business or not is completely up to them. But 9 times out of 10, they choose to do business with us. So we're pretty happy with the success of it so far.
That's great, man. That's awesome. So what's next for you guys?
Man, we've got some things down the pipeline. 2023 should be an interesting year. We just kind of keep evolving business wise.
Keep pushing forward.
Opportunities present themselves to us, and we do our best again to try to kind of come in with the same attitude. Let's just try to start from start of gratefulness, and let's try to be very humble moving through the process. But there's a very fine line, because we're lions too. You know what I mean? We want to, we want to be able to we want to be
roam
able
about.
to take we want to take on something head on, and we want to shred it. We want to there's 3 brothers, right?
There's 3 of you guys. Okay. I thought there was 2, yes. But
No. It's myself, Blake, and Matthew. And actually, my stepbrother, my
that's awesome.
My brother, man. Will there's 4 of us in the building, 3 Duncans, and, we're all hungry. And we're all, we all kind of share our dad's same mindset, again, starting with trying, always doing the right thing, and then, work your butt off, until you achieve what your goals are. And, we set very definitive goals, and and we keep each other accountable and trying to surpass those goals.
You ever think about opening up another store?
Man, we talk about it. I mean, all the time. It's just, we get so much done out of this one building. We bought another building and in the process of buying another one. And, I'll never say never, but it just seems like, we all work pretty well here, and, we love working with Dad.
It's nice to be all in the same place, right?
Yeah, it really is, and I think, there's strength in numbers and, breaking away to open another one just to me is like, why would I want to not spend, my time with, Matt or Blake or Dad? It wouldn't make any sense. I feel like we're stronger together. So, we just try to honestly, we just keep building around this kind of core that we've already built. And I think we'll continue to do that until something else presents itself. But like I said, I'll never say never, but that is not in our, short-term plans at all.
Right. Got it. Okay. Well, it's cool, man. Well, I'm glad you gave me the time and we sat down and we talked about all this stuff because, I really, I've been meaning to get you guys on and I love the podcast. I love what you're doing and absolutely want to support everyone in the community that's hungry like you guys out there and trying to make this industry better and expand it because that's ultimately what I want to see. I want to see our industry grow.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you. How long have you been doing your podcast?
Not that well. I started like December of last year, pretty much. Yeah. So it was just, it was something I didn't really want to do, it wasn't my goal to sort of have a podcast, but I kept looking for something and I couldn't find it. And then when I first started out doing it, I had a guy here that was in a studio and I was trying to get into the studio, but not everyone's as consistent, like when I'm working, I'm ready to work. You know what I mean? Not only do I manage Vegas coin dealers, so that takes up crazy time, especially this year. But, and then on top of that, if I'm going to commit to doing this, I want to get it done, So I just started to do everything myself and just steamroll ahead. So now I'm like, I did 2 seasons already. And this is like, I'm recording like the 3rd season now. So it's cool.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I like it. I too have looked for some content out there. There's really not a lot in terms of podcasts. So, I kind of felt the same way. It's like if we're not going to do it, who is?
Do it. We gotta be the ones to do it, man. Otherwise, it's not going to happen probably for a while, and then it'll happen. I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen anyways, and it might as well be us. That's the way I looked at it. So
yeah, no, I get it, man. So well, cool. So you've enjoyed it so far. You've liked this venture into this podcasting because I mean honestly I didn't know anything about it. I've listened to a few here and there, but it's not. I've got 3 kids and, I'm here 6 days a week. So I don't really have a lot of spare time.
That's what it is.
When I do,
that's the hard part.
I can't, coaching T-ball or,
that's awesome.
throwing football or baseball with the kids or swimming or doing something or hanging out with, the family. And so I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. So when it first was brought up to me, it wasn't something that I just had some easy answer for or just said, hey, yeah, let's do it. I don't just we kind of fly by the seat of our pants. But I will leave you with this. Whenever you have the right team of people, you can do anything.
That's true.
It starts again with that positive mindset and knowing that you can do it. If you can do it and you've got the right team, you can accomplish anything.
Absolutely.
So, that's evident in this case. I won't say that we've had some tremendous success with the podcast so far. I mean, we've gotten some views,
our industry's small though. That's the thing. Like with me, I don't even care about the numbers. As long as someone's out there, I figure if there's a kid out there that's getting into coins and he finds this and he likes it or learns something from it, job's done. So
Yeah.
I'm certainly not trying to be a big podcaster.
Yeah, no.
But if I can, be informative, it's great. I think it helps the hobby,
No, I agree. But a little bit of me, just if I'm going to get in it, I want it to be done right.
Yeah.
And I want to go.
You're gung ho. I know it's.
I want to go. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad trait.
Absolutely not, dude. No, of course not.
Contained, right? So.
Of course not.
But,
well, the good thing is you got people out there that are you do have a good team, and you got other people out there like me that are gonna support you. So just keep doing it. Just keep killing it, man. Just stay focused, do what you're doing, and then you're gonna be fine.
Man, I greatly appreciate those words of encouragement, man. Thank you very much. Thank you for reaching out, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, man.
You got it, man. Quick thing, best and worst things about having a brick and mortar.
Let's see. Security. I mean, is the thing that keeps me up at night, right? How do I keep, my family safe? How do I keep my employees safe? How do I keep my customers safe?
It's a big concern these days.
We spend more money on security every single year more than any other expense. It's, I say outside of any other, hard cost. It is something that we always try to be preventative and never reactive to. And then I'd say your benefit, obviously, is just being able to kind of provide that farm to table service, right? The deal comes in, you get to originate the deal, and then you've got the customer for the deal. So there's no middleman involved. So you're able to give the customer a better price, and you're able to sell to a customer at a better price. So it's a win-win for three parties. Because you get to pay the originating party, a more aggressive payout. And then, you yourself, because the customer, you have the benefit of making it both ways.
It's all right there.
So, but if I can't keep everybody safe, then nobody wins. So, that to me is the most important thing, is just, like I said, keeping the family, keeping the customers, keeping the employees safe. And we've done a good job so far, and we're just going to, every time there's a new technology out, we're buying it. And, we've got cops swarming all over this place, in the parking lot. We've got them inside the building. We've got them at every exit.
That's great.
So we spare no expense when it comes to security.
That's great, man. Smart. It's a good thing to do. Well, Kenny, It was a pleasure, man. And I'm glad we got to do this. And hopefully I get to see you sometime soon in person at either a show, or when I'm in town, I'll definitely come by and say hi.
Look forward to it, man.
All right, man.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
For sure. Have a good one.
All right. Take care.